everyone, and welcome to this video on weaving horizontal timber lines. If you haven't worked through the supplementary video, please do so, as that video goes into more detail about the steps common to weaving all the Kutira stitches. Horizontal timber has commonalities with sumac. It's a supplementary weft twining technique. The difference is that two pattern ends are worked at the same time, so you end up with the equivalent of 2 rows of sumac in 1 row of horizontal timber. So I've opened my tabby A shed. Here's my tabby A weft. My large sword should have been in there. Now I want pattern A. And I'm going to do it in 2 directions. The Bhutanese usually just do this with their left hand. Let's start over on this side. So you insert your pattern thread around one pair where you want your line to start. You cross the ends over to make a circle, and you make a lark's head knot. You lift the next warp pair in the direction you're going, and you take that circle over the warp pair and you bring your pattern thread around and through the circle so that it's just like a lark's head knot being worked on each warp pair. You can give your fingers a little bit of moistening if it helps you. I've cut these pattern threads a little bit too long. They're a little bit unwieldy. Now, if you find that difficult, and most people do the first time they do it, you can do what the Bhutanese did for me the very first time I did this. They watched me be all thumbs and they came and tied a knot in my pattern threads. This is much easier because you can really feel the knot. You know what you're doing. So I take it between the thumb and the tallest finger of my hand, pick up my warp pair. I can use my last 2 fingers to open that circle. I have to bring this knot very close to my warp pair, and then I'm just rolling it around. So I'm concentrating on bringing that knot in and around and through. When you tighten it, at this point, you can use your fingers to tighten the lower thread and then the upper thread if you want it to look really neat. So that's in one direction. Let's start on the other side now. Around behind one pair, cross your pattern ends over each other, hold them between your thumb and your tallest finger. And now you still have to open this circle, take your pattern threads over the warp pair and around and through. Always over the warp pair and around and through. I find it easier in this direction because I can use my stick to open the circle. One direction will be harder coordination-wise than the other for you. And again, if you find it a bit tricky, just tie it in a knot so that you've got a knot to focus on. You're going to bring the knot in until it's right next to the warp pairs, and then you're just rolling around and through. And when you watch Bhutanese weavers, you don't see them do that. When you watch Bhutanese weavers, you'll see them after they've executed one of these stitches. As they tighten it up, you see them roll their fingers to bring these 2 threads back into the optimal position between their fingers, ready for the next stitch. So they roll it back, and they also make sure that everything's really rolled together. So that's horizontal timber. If I wanted to finish those rows there, I would simply push my pattern stick back so that I was using my tabby shed, and I take these threads down next to the pair I just worked around, through the tabby shed a little way and out the back. I could go in either direction with that. I just chose to go back the other way, so I avoided too much bulk. In the next video, I'll show you how to weave vertical timber.